Well, hello there. Are we live? Are we live? I'm going to show you how things turned out. If you were following earlier, there's my Naga. This was the test. You can see that rock that I did sticking up nicely. Everything did indeed come out well. And she fits right in with this group of bugbears. They look okay. The cardboard isn't doing them any favors because it's all multicolored, because that's what I use as a sort of like a basing thing. But, you know, so these guys, I'm going to put them in the I'm going to put them on the varnish box to get matte spray. That's cool. That leaves my Jabberwock. Jabberwock this is just base coats. The exciting thing, you might have seen it, you might have spotted it in my oh, hold on. You might have spotted it in the description of the video. Is my girlfriend gave me an early Christmas present of Army Painter speed paints. This is the guy I did last time. I think I did him on Sunday. And he's all dry, so he's going in the varnish box. He'll get a coat of matte spray as well. I also have... Oh, how about this guy? My sort of Sauron character. He's good to go too. We're going to put him in the box. All dumb idiots go in this box. Okay, all these miniatures. My rabbits. My rabbit markers. They're kind of goofy. But there's not much else I'm going to do with them. They're going in the box. Everybody get in the box. And where does that leave us? Okay. He's not finished. We've got to definitely do some covers, covering up. Have I chipped away some of his on this hand? No, it's not a chip. I got this Army Painter speed paint stuff, and I'm thinking of using some of it on my Jabberwock. The brown, the goop is dried on the yellow, and looks good. Looks good. So I need to go back in and paint over it. I need to paint their little toga areas. So these yellow guys are good. These guys did not get gooped. I merely base coated them, but they're the same Nagas. And I painted them in kind of a turquoise, thinking, oh, they'll be turquoise. But don't they look copper? They look like they're kind of verdigris copper at this point. I'm thinking I'm going to also... I might dry brush them and also try the speed paint out on those as well. I think that would be a lot of fun. Okay. I've been watching videos about the speed paint. Here it is. Hang on. This is the unboxing. Here it is. So dramatic. so dramatic. There it is, the mega set. And I've actually seen what's inside because I watched like 9 unboxing videos of this, like people trying to do stuff with it. And some people do amazing things with it. So I'm hoping that I'm good. Let me open it up a little bit more. Okay. Oh, I thought it was in a little plastic container, but I guess I'm wrong. No, maybe I'm right. Nope, I'm wrong. Okay, here's what you get. An Army Painter speed painting guide. I will check that out. And then you just get the paints. And there's a free brush. I think this is called a monster brush. Where does it say that? Oh, there it is. Come on. All right, let me set the stupid camera down. It says Wargamer Monster Brush. How's that for marketing? Cool. I could always use another brush. And then I just got the paints. Super cool. It's just out of the range of something I would buy for myself. So I'm getting them all out here. They're really cool. Each one of these paints, it has little ball bearings inside so you can shake them up. And you can... This one is Fire Giant Orange. And the cool thing about it is, I've opened it up. I can turn it upside down and it won't spill because you actually have to squeeze it. So the other problem with that is you need a palette. You need to actually like squeeze this onto a palette and mix it up. And then there's another thing that I think is interesting. You can mix it with water and it thins it out, which is what you would expect. But you can also mix it with a speed paint medium. I think water makes it closer to like a shade rather than or a wash rather than a speed paint, I guess. So, I don't know. It's cool. It's all gravy, baby. All right, hang on. So, my normal paints, just so you know. I was talking to somebody on Twitter, and she's like, "Oh, I have something similar in my Amazon, and but I haven't been able to commit to it. It's a bit of an expensive set, I'll just admit. But like my normal paints are craft paints. These are between 50 cents and you might be $1 or $2, and you don't need a whole lot to start out with. You could start out with just like, I think I started out with like 4 or 5 colors, and then it was kind of like every time I would go to Michael's, or Hobby Lobby or whatever, I would pick up another color. And the metals cost a bit more. But they have a lot of like really weird varieties. Like they have holographic paint and they have color changing paint. Okay, whoops, hey now. So I'm putting down some paper towels. Not that this is planned to get extremely messy. But we've got a lot that we can do. I've got to do a lot of dry brushing too. Dry brushing is not going to involve the speed painting. Speed painting looks best over a white or light colored. You could even do it over metal base coat. And my habit up until this point has been to do my priming as dark, right? So I have dark priming. And then I do my dry brushing over the top of that. That way, if there's a spot that I miss when I'm painting, at least it'll show up as a shadow, right? So, and shadows are, not a big deal on a miniature. There's going to be lots of shadows. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit let's do a little bit of dry brushing. I normally use, no, not yellow ochre. I normally use this one. This is antique white. And I'm going to do, let's start with this warrior here. Now, when I'm in turbo mode, I tend to do a lot of them at once. Like I would do probably this whole group at once of, 10 miniatures or whatever. I have these guys, they're already verdigris encrusted. So we shall see. All right. Okay, now if you're curious what dry brushing means, we have the paint and it's wet. It's in the cap. Another thing I won't be able to do with the speed paint. And then you need kind of a trashy brush, a big trashy brush. And you just get a little bit on the end of it. And then you want to brush most of it off, but you're also spreading the paint on the bristles, so you can see how it's moving up the bristles here. And this is called dry brushing. And so you have this sort of dryish, almost chalk-like consistency. And when you brush it over your guy, whoops, that was a little too wet. It gets picked up by the ridgy parts, the higher parts of the model, like his chainmail. This is with no dry brushing. And then, you generally go the same direction so that it's all picking up one direction. And there's our dry brush model. So now we can see it in more detail. And it looks probably the same as it did before to you, but this is what an all black model looks like. So, we've got this sort of off-white chunkiness to it. We're going to put him over to the side. And you can do it like multiple times. Like you can start by dry brushing in, I don't know. Hang on. Start by dry brushing in this off-white and then go further and further white, like do a second one that's white. And you hit it with an even more subtle coat. And you get a nice gradient. Paper towel and newspaper work pretty good for getting the wet paint off. All right, here we go. We got this guy. Remember, he's all dark. This is a guy with I don't know. It looks like he's got a club, but I can't tell him. It looks like a club, I think. All right, here we go. And now you can kind of see, whoops, what he's carrying, I think. Well, I can see he's wearing armor. Now, it kind of really brings out the detail. Looks like he's got a rifle. What is he carrying? I don't know. Depending on how dry your paint is, you can really get in there and scrub it like you're scrubbing it with a toothbrush almost. If your paint is wet, don't do that because it'll just fill in it'll basically just be like coating your miniature with a new coat of paint, which is not what you really want to do. You really just want to bring out the details and the highlights. The other technique, which I don't use as much, is called zenithal, which is where you base it in black, just like we've got, for example, this wolf. And then you figure out where the light source is coming from, and you just dry brush that direction, and you leave it dark. So maybe we just do the top of the wolf, and we don't do the underside because there wouldn't be light underneath. Or if you were trying to get some kind of special effect, like on an undead miniature, you might as if you were doing an underlight kind of deal. And if you get the consistency right, let me move my Jabberwock out of the way. If you get the consistency right, it really does bring out the detail. You can see every little cut and striation on there. So all the hair and everything. This ought to work really good with the speed paint because, as I said, the whole point of the speed paint is to go against a lighter color. Even though this is off-white and not white, it will still work. It also reportedly works great on metallics. Like if I had, instead of spray painting these black, I had spray painted them silver. That would have been okay. I need more paint on my brush here. Okay, here we go. This is like a Lawrence of Arabia looking guy. He's got kind of a curved sword or a scimitar. You can see there's even detail on the shield I didn't know was there until I started hitting it. And then on the back, this is pure black. But as we hit it, it's like it's providing almost a light source or something. All right. Cool, cool. All right, we don't have to go nuts. I'm going to do 5 of these. Let me do another wolf. And then we'll get into trying out the speed paints. I'm a little excited. I hope I don't screw it up. And I don't have, one thing I don't have is you're supposed to have a palette, like a white plastic palette. And I thought I had one laying around here, but I think I may have thrown it out because the palettes get covered with acrylic paint and then they just get crusted on there, and after a while, you just throw them out. And on the speed paints, if you don't wash it off good, the speed paints reactivate each other even when they're dry. So if you take speed paint and you paint it over another speed paint, it'll reactivate. So you got to, if you're going to paint over the speed paint with another speed paint, you need to varnish it. You need to throw it in the matte box. All right. So without going too nuts, let's try it with these gals here. This is with the goop, the brown goop. We're going to try and get... I want to do their togas in like a red color. Let's see what we got. Crusader skin. I need to find like a color chart. I think one must have come with these paints somewhere. Let me see. I'm looking through all the stuff that came with it. Oh, here we go. Okay. What do you think will be good? I think it's blood red. I think blood red is the one I need. So let's find blood red. Blood red. Found it. There it is. Blood red. I'm shaking it up. Let's see. Whoop. Maybe not you. Okay. I found this little cap. It looks like it's stuff in it. There's only stuff on the bottom of it, so this is actually clean on the inside. So we're going to use that as our palette. Let's see if this stuff works. I've heard mixed results or mixed reviews. The pro painters love this stuff. There was a dude on Twitter that was like, good luck. I had no luck with that. Everything I did came out bad. So I'm like, uh-oh. Because I'm not a pro painter at all. All right. Looks like a little drop of blood in there. All right. You can see what I'm going to be painting is this area here. Wow. That looks like jelly. That looks like red gel or something. Ooh, don't get it on your fingers, Peter. Okay, this is a female Naga, as far as I can tell. All right, does that look female to you? So let's do her little toga-looking thing. One of the pro painters that I was looking at that was doing some of this stuff, like she was showing how to do flesh tones by mixing colors. Like you would start with like one of the lighter yellows and then you would mix in some red. All right, that looks like a pretty good start. Okay, how does it look on the back? Oh, on the back she's got well, first of all, I screwed that part up, so let's fix that. Boom, boom, boom. All right. She's got a quiver. And she's got hair. Okay, so we got to do something about that. And the bow itself, probably brown, right? All right, let's move her to the side. We're going to do the others so that they match. I got to say, the brown goop came in nice looking, although it's still just yellow. So it's, by not really going anywhere with it, I probably screwed myself, but it looks okay on the yellow parts. All right. We're getting in there. Come on, baby. Looking good. Okay, so I want to see if I can get under that a little bit. She's also got some kind of forearm guard. I'm going to just consider those all to be leather. Same as the quiver. There's an arrow too. All right. How's this one? Boy, it really is just kind of one and done. That was the that's how they advertise it. They say base, shadow, and highlight in one coat. So it's like you're kind of you know, you're not going back for multiple steps. Although I always do it anyways. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this will change how I do it. That looks like a belt pouch or something over there. Hang on. Oh, one of the other limitations, just reporting back from what I heard on other videos, is that this takes a while to dry. Oh, she has her tunic on as well. All right, so we did the other one with the tunic like this. That's probably correct. All right, let's move her. Did she get a tunic? Yes, she's fine. Her hand is in front of her boobs area. Okay. So you can, like I said, you can thin this out with the water, or you can thin it out with the thinning medium, and it'll have two different effects. The speed paint medium allows it to get thinner and still remain dark, and then the water it allows it to get thinner, but it thins the color out. It makes it a bit more washy. Okay. Well, while we're on the subject, let's wash my brush out. Okay. It may be that we'll just leave those be for a bit so that I don't get my finger on them. Let's take a look at these guys. These guys are kind of a problem. I just did them in, they're base coated in black, and then I painted them in this sort of turquoise color, but they look like copper at this point. They look like Verdigris covered copper. So rather than speed paint them right away, I kind of want to dry brush them again to bring out highlights, and then I'll speed paint over the top of the highlights. And I think I'm going to speed paint with this, dry brush with this color. Or I could go with the antique white again, one of the two. Let's start with the turquoise and see what happens. Although supposedly, I don't know, should I just go for it? I mean, I could just do the speed paint. They have a color called Plasmatic Bolt that might look really good, and a Malignant Green that might look really good. I'm wondering. Well, okay, let's think about it this way, because I didn't goop them. Absolution Green. Dark Wood, Gravelord Gray, Malignant Green. What is this? Yeah, this looks like a little like a moss green. It's the wrong color. Where's Plasmatic Bolt? Orc Skin. I love these fanciful names here. Alright, just because I'm a wuss, I think I might start by dry brushing them in turquoise first. Oh, I found it. There's Plasmatic Bolt. Like, would that look good? It's supposed to look kind of aquatic. Like these are the fire ones. And I gotta brighten the skin up. They're not yellow enough now with the brown. They dulled down. And these are the water ones, right? So they're supposed to look a little bit more watery. I have two choices. I'm going to start with that. I also have this. This is a metallic green, although it's really a satin green, in my opinion. All right, let's see. Same dry brush. Although this time, instead of doing off-white, turquoise. Just want to get rid of any excess moisture. Okay. Let me zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just brushing off my extra paint again. I want to get it so that there's no wet paint. But there's kind of like the chalky residue of paint. Okay, here we go. Wow, her face really came out of that. I think this is the right color to go with. I almost want to leave them as statues, you know? Like, these are copper sea encrusted statues or something. It's kind of funny how you start to develop this lore when you have your own miniatures and you're like, okay, so these are the sea nagas and they live, you know, and you start making up a whole story of where these characters are from or whatever. Although, like when Jake was on, he was like, you should do the Bifrost orcs with blue skin. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's perfect. They're the frost orcs. Cool way to go. All right, here we go. Come on, you. All right, we're going to go one more layer in because apparently it's a little too subtle. All right, here we go. There you go. And you can see the variation between the shadows and the light parts, the highlights and the dark parts. By comparison, here's one that has not been dry brushed. Oof. There are some light parts on him already. Come on now. Okay, here we go. Focus. Okay. All right, these are looking good. Same deal here. This almost looks like the top of his bow, which the bow is going to be brown, so The face is what is popping out here. Oh, and feel free to put in the chat, what do you think the contrasting, like, what's the toga color or the tunic color? See the tunic right here? For the blue ones. Like, for the yellow ones, I chose red, but I haven't really chosen one for those blue ones yet. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. Whoops. Two more, we'll get back to the Jabberwock. The Jabberwock right here. So in case you weren't aware, I do comics. I was getting really inspired by the Jabberwock. Like, I actually went and bought the Kindle version of Alice in Wonderland. Actually, there's 4 books. I didn't realize there's 4 books. I knew there was at least 2. Like, there's, like, Through the Looking Glass and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, I think, is the two first ones. And then there's one called The Hunting of the Snark, which I was vaguely aware of, but I didn't realize it was considered part of the series. And then there's another one, too. I had this idea for a character inspired by Wonderland, the craziness of Wonderland, or maybe a fantasy. It's a little bit of a D&D kind of comic. And his name would be Brillig, inspired by one of my own D&D characters. The story of Brillig is basically that he eventually gets to fight the Jabberwock. But he's originally part of, like he's a super strong fighter. He's kind of inspired by Brock Sampson from the Venture Brothers. You know, just a real super strong guy. Not particularly smart, but kind of a super tough guy. I don't know. Something like that. I think that would be fun. Okay. I don't know if you can see them. Whoops. They're looking a little bit more varied. Let's talk about fixing up our Jabberwock. While these guys dry off, let's put them off over here. And these guys are continuing to dry. Let's talk about our Jabberwock. There are parts of them that are not perfect. Like there's this horn right here needs to be touched up. It's that same off-white color, meant to be bone. The base is supposed to be. This base is trashed, but it's, you know, we're gonna do terrain on the base, which will build it up and it'll look nice. But right now, it doesn't look super nice. All right. Hello, Blood Red. You're going back to there. I was looking at the collection, the Jabberwock from the Alternative Armies website, and they did the underscales in a light color. So maybe I'll do that too. Let's at least dry brush them, and using the same technique. And then when I throw in my my speed paint, you know, maybe I put in a brown or something. Brown shadow. I like the blue. I think the blue is working. All right, hang on there. We're getting close. We're getting close. All right. Kind of this area right here. Like I said, it's important to me to not go too crazy on the paint, although the speed paint will take off It will correct my mistakes, supposedly, in theory. Like if I get too much white paint down there, and then I go in with like translucent brown, it should be good, and then I'll be able to even dry brush over the top of that. You know? Oh, the teeth. That's the other thing I was missing. So when I did the teeth, I did the inside of the mouth with like a really wet red paint. And I was afraid to go in and do the teeth because it would just mix with the red. I'm already causing a problem with a little bit of white paint right there. We can do a little edge light right here. He's looking good. All right, he's going to look tough when he's done. An inspiration for Brillig to battle. Okay. Now, what do we do? How about those wings? CM Wangs. I think I want to do speed paint on that. So I've got this thing, it's called Hive Dweller Purple. I'm going to move this little red cap aside. My original plan was to do a gradient. I talked about that in the last video, and I don't think I pulled it off at all. To gradient from the purple to the teal color. Did not work. Let's see. How about this? I'll use this as my palette. Once again, you got to shake it. Now, supposedly, you can mix these colors just like regular paint, just like watercolor, just like, I guess, acrylic. Most people don't mix the paints, most wargame painters, and the reason is you already have the perfect colors, right? You can see that I have a collection. You know, you've amassed your paint collection $1.50 at a time, over time. And I'm no exception. Okay, here it goes. So, like, if I put this in the thing with the red, I would get a reddish purple or something, maybe, which I don't want to do. I'm going to put white there. Let's see what happens. Single drop. A little dab will do ya, as they say. Now, is this a good brush? All right, here it goes. We're going for the wings. Yeah, nice. Okay. It is dark. Oh, I'm gonna try and thin it out just a bit with water. This might have been the perfect opportunity to try out that speed paint medium, whatever the hell that was. The one on if you go to the Alternative Armies website and look up Alternative Armies Jabberwock, you can see that they did the underside of the wings as they did the same purple color as I did, but which is unique. But they did the underside as like white, and it came out looking fantastic. I am not that good of a painter, I don't think. All right. Am I going to need more paint? Maybe. The answer is maybe. Like this is the outer wings, and then the interior of the wings, I thought I was doing a pretty good job on. Like, I did some dry brushing to bring out the spines. Do you see how it's like lighter on these spines? That's done with some subtle dry brushing. I don't know how subtle I am. Let's give it another, another dollop of the purple poison. We're going to go into the interior wings. I don't have a nice teal color to do the... If I did have a nice teal color, I think I'd probably try and just repaint the whole dragon. But I don't have that. Oh, look at that. Like, if it keeps that wet look, that's going to be kind of cool. All right. Here's the interior wing. It looks a little chalky. And I am mixing with water, which is not the same as mixing with the medium. It's looking nice. Look, it kept the spines. All right, so let's let it dry here for a second. I'm thinking about some kind of subtle brown for the horns. What do I have that's subtle brown? There's something called pallid bone, which sounds like the exact right thing. Pallid bone or hardened leather. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Believe it or not, there's a white color in here for some reason called Holy White. And it's really weird. This is not it. That's brush on primer. Let's see. Where's my Holy White? Anyways, it's the craziest stuff because in the jar, it does not look white at all. You have to turn it over and look at the bottom. I kind of want to show this. Let's see. Brush on primer. Camo cloak. This is it. This is supposedly Holy White, right? Does that look white to you? And then when you look at the bottom, it doesn't look white. But then if you shake it up, you start to get a little whiter of a color. I'm going to experiment with that one. I don't really know what it's going to do. But I'm definitely going to experiment on a less important miniature when I get the chance. Okay, here it comes. Here we go. There's my hardened leather. This is pallid bone. All right. Praying for success. It looks real dark brown, too, when I do it. All right. Oh, cool. Okay. What do you think? Can you see it? Is it happening? It is kind of a... It is a bony brown color. I'm wondering does it dry lighter or what? It's one of those things where I don't really know what's going to happen. As long as we have it up, let's do the teeth that way too. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, nice. That's looking good. Now it makes me want to do the eyes too. I still have some red. I have the blood red right there. I could do the eyes. Let's do the eyes. Hang on. This might be fun. We'll do the eyes and let it dry, and then we'll think about maybe we want to do the whole scales, like do the entire thing. I could also do the underside, like this, where I did is kind of the belly type area. Might be cool. All right, let's do the eyes. I need a smaller brush, a little specialty brush, if you will. All right, let's give it. All right, can you see the eyes? Yes. Well, come on now. Get it together. I painted a white highlight in there already, but it's kind of cool because it's translucent, so it's not covering my white highlight. It's using that as a highlight, but then I can go in after this dries and I can up my highlight if I need to. That's looking good. He's looking tough. I almost want to mix some red into that, like get it in the teeth there. Hang on. This dedicated to Jake Twister. Here we go. Here it comes. There we go. Good times. All right. All right, just because I have the palette bone up. And where did it go? Hello? Palette bone. I'm going to try painting some on his belly scales. Just to see what happens. Look how dark it is on there. One of the guys showing this on YouTube was showing how he had everything on like a white plastic palette, and it was like red, green, blue, yellow. But on the palette, it was all black. Like, it's all so dark that in concentrations, if you don't know which color you are working with, it's all black. That's what it looks like. All right. All right, I'm liking it already. Can drop some by his toes. Oops, I got some on his claws, but I think that's a good thing. How about on the horns? Okay. All right, what do you think? Good? Cool? We're going to let him dry a little bit. I'm going to paint around his base to cover up some of that spillage that I created. Just to let it dry. We're going to add terrain to the bases, so it's really not going to matter that much. But just to be complete about things, I thought I had this stuff organized. I look out over my paints. Where is black? That's sequin black. I need lamp black. I used to love all the colors that Citadel or Games Workshop would have. So it's like, it wasn't just black, it's chaos black. It wasn't just green, it's orc's flesh. It's always, they always had a cool name for everything. Snake bite leather. All right, here we go. This will just be less distracting until we get the terrain on there. So when we get the terrain, it's, you know, it's just like anything else that I do, where you we're gonna put Elmer's glue on there and then dip it in the terrain sand stuff. And at that point, it'll look really good. All right, he's looking pretty good right now. He's looking pretty fine. All right, question is, how are my yellow Nagas doing? Are they ready to get their bows painted? I think they're close. For these wolves, I got these 2 wolves. I actually have 6 wolves. I didn't dry brush the other wolves. This is experiment time, so we're just doing a few at a time. For my small miniatures, like when I buy them, they're about 50 cents a miniature, just generally 65, 50 cents. This guy is a bit expensive. He's like a full-size miniature. He's big. My little guys, though, they're 15 millimeters, so they are half the size of a regular mini. Let's see if I can find a regular mini so you can contrast and compare the size. Okay. That's a regular 28 millimeter miniature. And that's one of my guys. Like, I go small. All right. Way better to go small, in my opinion. The ladies love it. All right, here we go. Let's go. We want some kind of brown for these dudes, these 3. Let's see. I got a color called dark wood, and I got a color called hardened leather. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with, I don't know. Let's go with dark wood for right now. For their hair, well, I'm really not sure. I've got some kind of orange color, I'm sure. I think I want to go with something called Fire Giant Orange. Or I could just go really contrasting. You know, you could go in opposite direction. Instead of orange, you could go, blue. You could go, what's the opposite of yellow? Purple, Color theory. All right, here we go. We'll start with you. Looking cool. Looks nice. It just looks dark. I mean, if I painted it with black, it would have been similar. But there is an element of translucence to it, that's true. I also noticed she has a bracelet on one hand and a bracer, like an archery bracer on this hand. Hold on, let me just point to it. I need a pointer. Hang on. All right. Once you start painting them, you see all these details come out. This is an archery bracer, but on this side, it's just a bracelet. It's like I could do that with just some regular gold paint and an armband. Her toga is wrapped up in a little piece of, like an ornament or a jewel or a ring. And then there's her hair. Oh, definitely want to do something with this quiver. And there should probably be, I don't know, the fletching on the arrows should probably be lighter, maybe a white or an off-white or something. Let's do brown for the quiver. Is that too dark? Why did I touch that? Looking good. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. She's looking good so far. Let's put her aside. How about you? All right, same deal. Brown bow. And then brown quiver. She's looking good. Okay, put her aside. How about you? Brown bow. She has an arrow actually knocked. Most of these are, and this you see this a lot with miniatures, they have invisible arrows, but she actually has her arrow is built into the sculpt, so I'm going to actually paint the arrow too. And I'll do the head of the arrow in silver. I don't have. They do make a speed paint for silver. At least I just saw I just saw it today. It's not included in this set, but they're prototyping this stuff right now. So like somebody had like sneak preview of the silver, like the metallics, or some of the metallics. But you can mix and match. I've got silver and acrylic that I can easily put on here. All right, I can see it drying on the palette right now, so let's get it before it goes away. I feel like we got it. Okay. Let's put our Nagas back. Naga country. Come on now. Can you zoom in? So definitely want to do these bracers. The bracers are definitely a part of each one of these. And then the hair. And I think that'll really show off the details. Let's see. So for the bracers, I could go back and use the pallid bone, you know, because it would just darken what's already there, and it would probably look pretty good. I have something called sand golem. Let me see what else we got. Hardened leather. Hardened leather sounds like the way to go. Hardened leather. You gotta shake. All right, here we go. Let's get hardened leather with it. Okay. This is a little tiny detail, so we need a little tiny detail brush, kind of like we did the eyes with. All right. Sorry. Alrighty. Hardened leather. Normally, I don't like to get too many colors on a miniature. 3 or 4 is fine. But it's just looking so cool. I don't know. Well, this is about the right number. I mean, it's got, how many colors do you see? Yellow, red, dark brown. That's 3, and I'm going to do some details, and that's it. You don't need to go too far, usually. The hair is going to be the 4th color. That's going to have to be it. And then details will be like metallics, silver, etc. Whoops. Oakley dokley do. All right, let's let these guys dry off for a bit. Put them on the back burner. I believe my Jabberwock is still drying, which brings us to these guys that I just dry brushed. I could do some stuff with these while we're waiting. Whoops. So they knock them over. All right. The question becomes one of strategy. I could go for an all-over color. I think my best strategy is to do the clothing. So let's do, you got something that's kind of yellowish. Let's see. How about Sand Golem? Sand Golem is, there it is. This is an off yellow. It's really a brown. Which makes me think I shouldn't be using it, but I'm going to use it anyways. All right. Yeah, and once again, if you didn't know which color was which one would you choose? It's actually the one that's the largest blob on there. Like, if I didn't know any better, I might not know. All right, here we go. Actually, it's looking nice against the blue. It is a brown. I'm going to use the same color for her archery bracer. Just seems to fit. I'm going to give her kind of a gold or a silver. I'm going to give her like gold bracelets. Like she's wearing some bracelets that are definitely jewelry. All right, let's move her aside. Woo! It is cold down in the basement today. I hear it's going to snow. Not tonight, but maybe this week. At some point. I don't know. I never listen to anybody when they start talking about stuff like that. And then it registers to me later and I go, oh, really? No way. All right, she's got kind of a sort of bikini thing going on at the top. All right. These are going to look really nice in my skirmish collection. Shoot. Come on up. I'm going to go for dark leather on the, dark wood rather on the bow again and the quiver. I'm afraid when I get bubbles in there. Like, how viscous is this stuff? Is the bubble going to stay? All right. I think this brown was a good choice over the verdigris copper green. I'm liking the effect. She's got a, let me do her bracer too. When I was a kid, when I was just a young man, there was another guy. It was the Ray Sears' his friend. He had a friend who had a D&D campaign, and that kid had an extensive collection of miniatures. Like, we did not have the extensive collection of miniatures. He did. And we were so impressed with all of the stuff that he did. We're like, what is the secret? What is the secret? And we all had different versions of, like, he paints with a toothpick or something. The reason is because we were just bad painters. We had, first of all, we didn't know what to use. We used enamels, Testor's enamels, which were awful. This is sand golem, okay. And we didn't know how to prime. Like, you know, if somebody's dad had stepped in and, you know, there was a model painter or something, that would have been great, but it didn't happen. And long story short, we had miniatures, but they were not very well painted. It's just long story short. Later on, I did learn to paint a little bit more. I had joined, when I was in college, I joined my girlfriend's D&D group. And I'm just going to say they were not a very creative group, but they did, like, know a lot of the lore. Like, people knew how to paint and stuff like that. And so I learned a little bit about painting and even sculpting miniatures, like to add, you know, you could sculpt on an accessory or something like that. It was not a great experience being in that group. But you did learn a lot. All right. Okay. Oof. Let's take a look. We're getting somewhere. Okay, I actually have 5 of the yellow ones, and I have 4 I mean, I have 5 of the blue ones and 4 of the yellow ones. So slight advantage to the blue. Slight advantage to the water nagas. The water element. Before I started painting, I have went to Walmart earlier today and I got some white primer, and I white primed a little box full of adventurers on one side. I'm going to go and see if they're dry. I'm sure they are dry. And then I'm going to flip them so that I can spray them on the other side. Okay, I think this is her over the shoulder area. Over the shoulder. There we go. All right, let's zoom back out. Nice. Now, supposedly, Jabberwock should be about ready to roll on his what's the color I should use? How about this? I know water dilutes it. Hold on. I could use Magic Blue and then dilute it with water in one of these little caps like I used earlier. And just do a wash of blue over his scales. My problem is finding a cap. I don't want to reuse the red one. Let's see. Even just like a water bottle cap would probably do it. Oh, how about this? Nope. How about this? All right, found one. All right. Okay, Magic Blue over the top of that. This is Magic Blue. And I'm not sure it's going to look great, but if I dilute it enough and it just looks like a wash or a shade, it'll probably look okay. Maybe I'll even put a drop of that plasmatic bolt in there. Ooh, it is dark blue. All right. All right, let's put a, whoops, hey now. Sit up straight. Here's the plasmatic bolt. I'm going to put just a drop of that in. This is an experiment. All right, here we go. I don't think I shook it up enough. Oh, I ruined everything. Hold on. You haven't ruined anything yet. Okay. All right, you gotta add some water. There we go. Okay, boom. All right. All right, here's what it's gonna look like. Let's top down. Let's start with the fingers. No, start with the neck. Look at that. Oof, that's like blue ink. That is some nice. I have never had pigments this nice before, I will say. All right, the danger is getting this mixed with any of the other colors because, like I said, it reactivates. So we're going to try and control it and not put on too much at a time. Hang on. Don't put on too much at a time. you know, so that it's not going everywhere, pooling up at the bottom or whatever. As I say it, I just pulled on a bunch more. Oh, Peter, you're dumb. All right, here we go. You can do it. All right, here we go. Nice. Oh, it is pulling down. Look, it's doing the... I screwed up. But it's not too bad. It's not the worst. This is actually looking okay. This is looking very cool. Oh, I am very happy. All right, so big shout out to my girlfriend for getting me this. That's lots of fun. Okay. I got too much of it now in that cap. What am I going to do with all of it? I could paint it over the purple. That is looking good. All right, let's just leave it where it is. Let's leave it where it is. All right. Is this perfection? I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I'm great. This is about as good as I can do. Like, it looks cool. And if it dries with that wet look, that would be super. All right, well, fingers crossed. Boy, the shadows are looking great. Look at the hand with the shadows on it. Looking cool. All right, we're going to just put this aside. And I could use some of it on these guys. I might be able to, like, you know, I haven't really considered it, but especially now that I've put the brown in. But let's just do one guy, all right? This is an experiment. Another experiment. We're gonna throw some of this blue in there. Oh, that's too much. Nice. All right. I'm not gonna touch his bow. And I don't need to get in too deep. I could do the hair. Oh, I want the hair to be a contrasting color, though. How about the face? Like, all right, where is this going? I've got too much. I'm picking some of it up with my bristles. Hey, get off. I don't really know what's happening over here in this corner, other than that part of that is the quiver, but then his elbow is in the way. All right, we're just going to let that one dry. I don't know. Like, it might be fine. Or it might be weird. All right, let's just let him dry as an experiment. We're just going to see what happens with him. We don't know yet. The jury is out. Okay, while we're waiting for all these guys to go, I have two wolves. These are the guys I dry brushed at the beginning of the stream. We're going to go ahead and hit them with some sand golem, I think. I think it was called sand golem. I was thinking of making them even zombie wolves, or you could do them like a rotting green kind of color. All right, here we go. Sand golem is the color I used for the leather stuff on the blue Nagas. But this time it won't be against blue, it'll be against plain old dry brushed antique white, so we'll see what happens. Just want to make sure that my brush is dry. All right, here we go. Looking good. Wolves are among the, like, animals in general are easy to paint because it's just basically one color. You know, you can go in and do the eyes or whatever, or some kind of pattern. But for the most part, you're really just, you know, you're not going to be doing a lot of that kind of stuff. You could do a gray wolf or something like that where you have some variation in the gray or something like that, but nice. This is looking okay. My biggest problem right now is I got some dry brushing on the base of the miniature, so I'm gonna have to like black it out again. But wolf looks good. All right, I've already run out of the sand golem, so where is it? Hardened leather, sand golem. Here we go. Wolf number 2. One of the other fun things about these wolves are they're all different poses. If you get like 4 wolves, it's the exact same pose. It's not as cool. But also, it's an easy skirmish force too. Like if you're gonna do Song of Blades and Heroes, which is my go-to skirmish game. You know, wolves are a nice like little force to put together. Maybe you put together like a druid or a pack hunter or something like that. You know, maybe a half elf or an elven ranger that goes with them, or a druid or something like that who commands the wolves. I have some goblin wolf riders that are actually mounted on the wolves, which is kind of cool. All right, these guys, that was quick. Let's see those dry and we'll see what happens with them. That went quick. All right. And then I just have these 3 dudes that have not had any paint on them. Let's take a look. Chainmail. I don't have silver, so I'm going to have to just do... I could do gray. I could do gray. I could even do black. Generally, you want to go in deep first, so we want to do the flesh tones. And then... like his pants, whatever the pants color is, and the boots, and then, you know, the all over color, we want to go from the inside out. So I'm going to try the face first. This guy has nice, like real subtle features. I'd be afraid to goop him because he's so, the chainmail is so detailed on him that I would probably end up losing some of the detail if I gooped him. That's too big of a brush. Let's see if I can find a small brush. Small brush. That'll do. All right. I'm trying to... Come on now. All right, here we go. And watch me screw this up. All righty. The nose guard should not have been painted, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to dry brush right over that nose guard. He's good. Good to go. I'm looking at his Warhammer. Yeah. This guy'd be a good candidate for some kind of detail on the shield as well. All right, how about this guy? This is the guy I couldn't figure out what he's carrying. Oh, you know what that is? What is that? Is that a chain? Check it out. It's a flail. All right, so this guy's a cleric. Or a fighter who uses a flail. Just because he's bald, I want to say he's a cleric. Not that clerics are habitually bald. It's like a footman's flail kind of a thing. All right, this is not speed paint. I'm painting them in plain old acrylics right now. Looks like he has gloves and gauntlets. There's no other flesh showing. It's just his head. Oof. Opacity is low, but he's looking good. He's got plate mail on. Let's put him off to the side. That's the guy with the Warhammer. And this is our Lawrence of Arabia dude. He looks cool. He's got silk pants. He's got a caftan or tunic looking thing. Scimitar. He's got a very stylish beard. Looks a bit Arabic actually to me. Very cool. This is definitely like an Al-Qadim kind of dude here. And he has like a cloth thing on there. I've got to figure out what color to make his beard. All right, does he have bare hands? That's the question. Yes, he does. He has bare hands. Let's see if Peter can do this without screwing it up. Oh. Maybe. Close. This is what happens. After a while, your brushes start to develop like a curl, a weird thing happening. That's what happened here. Cool. Oh, his scimitar's got a little chunk of something broken on it. Let's fix that. All right, we fixed it. Ba-doo. He looks okay. I know this looks very messy because you're zoomed in microscopically. Look at the size of my thumb and you'll realize how small this is. We'll be able to correct that by painting over it. But we need to get to the detail. We need to get the innermost areas first, and then we kind of like, paint outwards from there. Okay, those guys got to dry. I think we might be at the end of the evening tonight. Well, let's see. We've been going for an hour and 30 minutes. I have enjoyed it greatly. This is my Jabberwock right now. Looking cool. Looking very cool. I'm still going to build up his base with some terrain. Wolves are looking cool. I've got to figure out a hair color for these salamander nagas. And same deal for my blue nagas. All right, let's tighten everything up. Hang on. Oof. Grim black instead of chaos black. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please like, follow, and subscribe. There'll be more surprise paint. I'm definitely going to be painting this weekend. Let me zoom in on where. Let's put the Jabberwock in focus here. Please like, follow, and subscribe. There'll be more painting going on. And maybe we'll even go over some of the wargaming rules and stuff that I'm interested in, if you're interested in it. And please check out Rabbit Fighter, which I actually did the roughs for the final page of the current story, which is page 21. And I'm either going to go right into that Brillig story, or I'm going to go right into the next issue of my story. It's going to continue where Rabbit Fighter left off, but it's going to follow Iseult for a while. Yeah, sorry, Jake. I'm about to leave, but I got these speed painter things. They're translucent. Check out the Jabberwock here that I just did. So I missed out. Sorry about that. Well, awesome to see you anyways. I'm glad you're around, and would love to see you on again. Anyways, talk to you later. Whoops. Yeah. I like I liked how it came out. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna build up some terrain on the base. I'll show you what it looks like. Hang on. Before I get off. So I did this robot yesterday, and the robot's not exceptional, but the terrain on the base is what I'm kind of pointing at. You can see the grass and everything, and then I also did one of my other Nagas. I did her base too, so it's the same deal. I did like a little tree kind of stump kind of sticking up, or a rock. I don't know what we would call that. But we're going to do that for the Jabberwock as well. And we have so much more, real estate to play with on him. All right. Yeah. It's like it's a goofy looking robot. It's like an Astro Boy robot. It's got two heads. It looks real stupid, but it was so much fun to paint that I couldn't resist. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for being on, and I will see you again.